going on, everybody? I go by the name of Kari, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish. Today, we're taking an early look at one of the most highly anticipated Air Jordans to drop so far in 2022. The fifth time we've seen this colorway, the fourth time we've seen it in this cut, and the first time we've gotten it in its true OG form all the way down to the OG packaging. Without further ado, let's get into it. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Air Jordan 12 playoffs for 2022. 1997. I don't even know where to begin with this sneaker because when you look at it, this is one of those sneakers where you don't even have to say anything. You literally we could just look at each other for 8 minutes with me holding this shoe, and that would probably be enough. This sneaker holds so much history. It's so iconic. It's at the top of so many sneakerheads lists. It's mind-blowing that we're finally getting this sneaker in its true OG form. But before I get into it and nerd out over this shoe, let's take a deeper look. All right, starting with the upper, the first thing we're going to talk about, of course, is the leather. Fantastic leather on the shoe, just like we normally get on all Air Jordan 12s. I will say, Jordan Brand tends to make sure that they give us good leather on these 12s. And for the 25th anniversary of the original debut of the playoff 12s, they did not disappoint on the leather. Very nice black leather, rising sun Japan flag design. Nothing different about the silhouette in and of itself, but the leather is really, really good. Let's actually talk about these eyelets for a second here. Now you have the more pewter looking eyelets here that are more like the OG. Remember, in the previous iterations of the Air Jordan 12 playoff, we got kind of a more silvery, more metallic-y looking, more shinier looking eyelets. But this time for the OG look, they gave us those OG eyelets. So we get kind of this more muted silvery eyelet, and I love it. Moving down from the upper into the lower portion of the upper, of course, you have the classic white reptile or lizard skin on the mudguard here and on the midsole here. On the silver Jumpman clip here, again, even the color of the Jumpman clip here right above the midsole is really like the OG as far as the color. You guys remember, even the silver on these little Jumpman clips here looks a little bit different from year to year. Whether you're looking at the 2012, the 2004s, whichever ones you're looking at, it does look a little bit different. But this time, looks really, really good. Classic midsole on the shoe. You guys remember the Air Jordan 12 is actually the first Air Jordan model to feature full-length Zoom Air in the shoe, and they didn't disappoint. This time, you're going to get the same comfort just like you got back in the OG model. Nothing different there. Taking a top-down look at the 12 playoffs here. Regular Air Jordan 12 silhouette from the top down. Again, you got the classic 2-3 white stitched in the tongue as well. Premium leather on the tongue, just like you get that same leather on the upper of the shoe with the red stitched Jumpman on the top. Moving around to the heel of the shoe, thank you so much, Jordan Brand, for making this really like the OG, switching back to the white Jordan quality inspired by the greatest player ever verbiage on the tag here instead of that red. What were you thinking with that red? Just like the OG, you also got the red square with the black Jumpman in the middle of it and the red 23 on the heel. On the outsole of the shoe, classic herringbone traction pattern with the carbon fiber shank plate. They gave us the carbon fiber shank plate in the midfoot of the shoe, and they also gave us the classic black Jumpman with the red 23 tab in the forefront of the shoe as well. I love you guys for that. Once again, Jordan Brand, thank you. And on the insole of the shoe here, you have the classic black insole with the red Jumpman. You guys can see 8.5 because in 12s, I tend to go a half size down. 12s do tend to fit a little bit big on my foot. I don't know about you guys, but I would tell you guys for sizing, I tend to go a half size down in 12s. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the Air Jordan 12 playoff for 2022. Remember, this isn't really a sneaker that's about the bells and whistles and crazy colors and hidden pockets and reverse swooshes and collaborations and all that kind of stuff. This sneaker here is just one of those super iconic OG sneakers that you're going to see everybody go insane over. Anybody that talks about what they're trying to pick up, there are people that I see that are saving their money, passing on other releases because they're saving their money. If you're one of those sneaker buyers that only buys a couple of pairs a year, this is one of those ones that people are holding out on. Everybody's got to have these. Let's talk a little bit about what makes these so special if you guys are new here. Let's take it all the way back to the year 1997. That means that if you're younger than 25 years old watching this video, you weren't even born yet when this sneaker debuted during All-Star Weekend in Cleveland. But when Michael Jordan came on the court with these on, everybody kind of stopped. People wondered what the follow-up to the Air Jordan 11 was going to be because the Air Jordan 11 was such an iconic sneaker. Michael Jordan had just came off of an explosive 1996, an incredible incredible return to the game of basketball. He had won his 4th championship. He had just came out with Space Jam. He was in every commercial you could ever imagine. Michael Jordan was on top of the world, and people wondered, did he have the legs to do it again? And so he popped out in 1997 All-Star Weekend with the new Air Jordan 12 on, a brand new design with Tinker Hatfield that was really eye-catching, really dope, and again featured the Zoom Air unit. So it was different. Again, it was a difference in technology. It was a modern marvel of its time. Now here's the reason why these were supposed to be so special and why these supply chain issues really suck. If you guys realize that the All-Star Weekend in 1997 was in Cleveland. In 2022, the 25th anniversary of the debut of the Air Jordan 12 All-Star Weekend is back in Cleveland. So with the brand, this was supposed to be a really special drop during All-Star Weekend in Cleveland, where they were going to drop the 2022 25th anniversary of the playoff Air Jordan 12. But unfortunately, according to a lot of really credible sources and outlets out there, it looks like for whatever reason, I'm guessing supply chain, this drop is actually being postponed until early March. And that is really a letdown. But there are some pairs that are still out there. This pair came in from GOAT, which means that there are some reputable people out there that have real deal pairs of these. They are floating around out there. Now, here's the thing that also tells me as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we still see a shock drop over All-Star Weekend of this shoe coming out. The reason why I say that is because obviously there's pairs out there somewhere. Now, maybe Nike isn't totally ready to do the full rollout of the entire general release of this sneaker, but maybe there are limited enough pairs where they can roll out a shock drop of the shoe to get people excited about it. Honestly, I don't even think that they need to do that to build hype on this sneaker, but they might do it anyway. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I don't know. I don't have that confirmed. I'm not one of those channels that says I got information I don't have. But all I'm saying is just keep an eye out All-Star Weekend, because as we all know, anything can happen in sneakers All-Star Weekend. But getting back to what made the 12 so dope, especially the playoffs, Michael Jordan came back. He ended up getting his 5th title wearing the playoff 12s. Again, June 1997, you have games like the flu game. You have a lot of iconic moments that Michael Jordan made wearing the Air Jordan 12, and a lot of iconic moments that Michael Jordan did wearing the playoff 12s. And he was running through the playoffs with these sneakers on. There's too many to name. It's Michael Jordan. He's the GOAT. But what I will say is that for a lot of us that are really big on nostalgia in sneakers back then, we saw Michael Jordan do the impossible. We saw him get back-to-back championships yet again in 1997 with this sneaker on. And a lot of us were still riding the coattails of Space Jam and looked at Michael Jordan like he was larger than life at that point. You guys got to remember, for a lot of us that are around in this age group, we may have seen Michael Jordan play back in the early 90s, but we really didn't get super hip to Michael Jordan and make him our superhero until around 96, 97, when he was wearing 11s. And again, he was linking up with the Looney Tunes and doing stuff like that. Now, granted, back in the early 90s, he was doing some of that marketing as well, but it just felt like Michael Jordan was doing a lot more of that, especially in my eyes, because at that point, I'm 10 years old and I'm 11 years old, I'm 12 years old. So now I can tap in a little bit more with what's going on with Michael Jordan and really start looking at him as my superhero, just like he was our older brothers and sisters' superhero as well. I really hate it for you guys if y'all weren't around when Michael Jordan was playing ball on TV, because man, y'all missed out. That's all I can say. So to get these sneakers back is something really special. My main point that I really want to make about these sneakers, kind of 2 points. Number one, trust the process when it comes to Jordan Brand. A lot of us really tend to get on Jordan Brand because we're like, oh, we want this classic iconic sneaker, or we want a classic colorway of this shoe. We don't want the Marina Blue Air Jordan 1s. We want the Royals, or we want the Chicago 1s to come back, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get Chicago 1s back. But the thing about Jordan Brand that I want you guys to remember is that Jordan Brand is really still in the storytelling industry. A lot of people even say that Nike isn't even really a sneaker company or an athletic company. They're a marketing company that happens to make athletic apparel and footwear. And I totally believe that. It's all about the story. Even though they understand that hype is a thing and StockX is a thing and resale is a thing, and they're trying to sell these products, the way that you sell these products is on nostalgia and storytelling as well as innovation. So to come out with the playoff 12s for the 25th anniversary of the debut of the sneaker with the OG box, I mean, I honestly feel like they've probably been planning this for years. They probably have been planning this since the last time this sneaker dropped 10 years ago. They maybe were like, hey, you know what, for the 25th anniversary, we're gonna finally give them the OG. And we never know what's gonna happen next. Maybe for some kind of special anniversary of the Chicago 1 that we don't know about yet, maybe we'll get a reiteration of the OG version of the Air Jordan 1 Chicago. We don't know what Jordan Brand has up its sleeve. So we have to keep trusting the process that when they do come out with something, when they do roll out with something, it's gonna be special, it's gonna have a story attached to it, and it's really gonna drive the nostalgia of people that were either there back in the day or have an appreciation for the things that Michael Jordan did for the game back in the day. Nike could really care less that you want Chicago 1s right now because you know you can make a lot of money off of them in the market. They want to tell their stories and they want to tell them their way in their time, and we have no choice but to let them do it. The second thing that I want to say about these is that these sneakers really represent who I am, who Kari is, and what this channel Sneaker Fetish is all about, which is about bridging the gap between what's hot today, what's early today, what the hype thing is, what all you guys want to see on YouTube, and what the nostalgic sneakerheads, the loyalists, the purists that were around back in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, what they still care about in sneakers. And the 2022 Air Jordan 12 playoff is the perfect bridge. It's one of those perfect kind of meeting points between nostalgia of yesteryear and hype of today. These sneakers are selling for a lot of money on the early markets right now. So if you're one of those resellers that really could care less what Michael Jordan was doing back in the day, you're still making your money off these, because if you got them early, you could probably buy these for a smooth $400 to $500. But the reason why you're able to sell that sneaker for that much money is not just because of FOMO. It's not just because people want to be hype and be early with it. That may be a piece of it, but the reason why you're able to sell them at that high of a price is because there's a lot of people out here that want them that bad because the nostalgia is that heavy for them. And that's the stories that I try to tell on this channel. I want you guys to understand why these sneakers matter. Why can you sell them for this much money? Why do people care so much about this sneaker? Why is this such a big deal? These sneakers are a really big deal, and hopefully you guys are able to get your hands on them, and hopefully if you guys do get your hands on them, you hold on to them tight, because I don't know when in the world we're going to get another playoff 12 in the OG form with the OG looks and the OG box like we're getting it for 2022. So salute to Jordan Brand for giving us this sneaker back in 2022 for the first time in its OG form since 1997. I'm excited about these, and if you want my personal opinion, double up. These are definitely going to be worth it. I could go on and on and on about this shoe, but I'm not going to do that today. Now it's time for you guys to sound off down in the comments. Let me know what you think about the Air Jordan 12 playoff for 2022. Are these sneakers that are on your radar? Are these a must cop for you, a must have for you, like a lot of other people, or for whatever reason, are these going to end up being a hard pass for you? Sound off down below. Let me know. Of course, right down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you, I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the 2022 Air Jordan 12 playoff, and until next time, I'm out.